we can dedicate a couple minutes to Shedeur and that whole
let's take
circus.
a. So
right.
I know this is an NFC East podcast, and there were rumors that maybe the Eagles or the Cowboys might have taken him in the 5th round, but like, so my understanding is like talent evaluators were not nearly as high on him as we thought, but not even just that. They thought maybe he was a 2nd round pick, but the main thing is he didn't interview well. He came in with an air of arrogance that maybe only the top picks get, and like he did not. I heard a thing about Dable, how he interacted with Dable in an interview. Now, Mal, did you hear about that?
Yeah, I did.
You want to explain that?
I'll give my take.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, Dable was not happy with the answers that he was given from Shedeur Saunders. And now here is what I think on the whole situation. We'll get into this more because, as y'all know, I drafted a quarterback. We traded up in the 1st round. And I'll get my take on that when we get to my Giants episode. Yeah, next week. But I think the problem with Shedeur Saunders is my major thing that I think really turned him around. That man got to get an agent. He needs to get an agent. Yeah, listening to dad is a hard problem. And I think that he was given expectations that were not realistic. And it showed because all 32 teams passed on him for 5 rounds. If someone thought of him as a difference maker, he would have been taken before that. I think it says a lot. I don't know. And, there's been a lot of theories of like, collusion among the NFL.
I don't think it's that.
Listen, maybe not. Who cares? He was a day 3 option. After looking at most of his film, I get it. I do. I think that the hype around his name is one of the biggest hypes in a while that we've seen like in
Johnny
the draft.
Manziel. We're talking Johnny Manziel hype.
I think more than that at this point. Like, there was a whole entire thing about him being prank called, that these people should be arrested. No. That is a whole... Listen, that's how serious this prospect was and how we don't realize that. I think that in some way, shape, or form, maybe he should have been higher, but watching more, I'm glad my team didn't take that risk because of that. And that
we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Well, let me ask you guys this.
Go ahead, Maurice. Yeah.
Do you guys think there were quarterbacks drafted before him that are actually better than Shedeur?
Yeah.
I think
I do.
I think there are quarterbacks that had higher potential than Shedeur.
I think there are 2. I think there are only 2 that were.
I think there are 3 quarterbacks that had higher potential. Because Tyler Shook is already a made product in my mind. He's already who he is.
Yeah,
he's 26 years old.
I wasn't even saying Shook. I was saying Dart and Milroe. I think those are the 2.
I think Dart and Milroe have higher potential than Shedeur. I honestly am not super high on Cam Ward. Why? I'm not saying that he's bad. I just don't think
I love Cam Ward. I think Cam Ward's going to be a star.
I do.
I'm
gonna step in here. Cam Ward, he rightfully got that number 1 pick spot on what he was able to do at Washington State, as well as his year in Miami. You can't fault him for that. Yeah. The one thing that I could fault Shedeur on is that in that regard of the 2, they were either the 1-2 combo of quarterbacks. If he didn't listen to Dion on what needed to be done, where instead of him trying to go for this with Dion, he should have went for this for Shedeur. And him to sandbag on some of these interview questions to teams, it rubbed them the wrong way, in which what Mal had said. And through that, I'm just to the point, why would you do that? This is a one-time opportunity that you can get drafted. You got to take this thing seriously. And I really don't want other quarterbacks or whoever it might be the second in line of their family lineage to be in the league take it seriously. Go out there, get your name. I wouldn't want Shedeur to go out there trying to go after just because Dion is a Hall of Famer and stuff. I want him to go in there for Shedeur. Shiloh didn't run his mouth. Like he ended up getting signed as an undrafted, but really, you really just shot yourself in the foot on other teams. Like you would have got drafted
we all
higher.
Agree he should have been a day 2 quarterback, right? He should have been a day 2 guy.
For me, I think he could have been one if he really took it seriously.
Yeah. And also you have to remember this too, and this could be a whole hour-long debate. But Maurice, I'm sorry for cutting you off. I'll say this and then I end my thought. If Shedeur wanted to be a day 2 quarterback, the issue is that he didn't play in a tough conference in college. So a lot of people are looking at that in some way, shape, or form. I don't think Shedeur was given the proper expectations when he came into this draft, hence why I said I think he really needs an agent. But in the end, I think Shedeur has a lot of raw talent. But I'm going to tell you guys this much based on Stefanski's and Andrew Berry's comments when they drafted him. I could very well see, and it sucks because it shouldn't be, I think that there's a potential he could be cut from Cleveland.
I think so too.
I can see it. I can see it too.
So it depends. I think this is a make or break point in his young career, right? Because they drafted a quarterback ahead of you. A guy who I don't think any of us believe is actually better than him, at least talent-wise. Now, you need to go into Cleveland and just put your nose to the grind. Don't make any waves. Don't try to be the culture setter. Don't try to do any of that. Just do your job. And if you can do your job, you have a chance to eventually, not week 1, but eventually win that starting job. But if you can't do your job and not make waves, then guess what? You're going to be out pretty quick because Cleveland did not look happy to draft you.
No, they didn't.
They already had Dylan Gabriel.
They have 5 quarterbacks in the roster.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
at least 2 of them are going to be gone because they can't. Well, okay. Deshaun Watson's going to be on IR for the season, right?
Probably.
Physically unable to play, whichever list is appropriate for him.
Mm-hmm.
So then you have 4 guys.
Joe Flacco, he's going to stay because he knows the system and he's a vet, right? And he played well. So then you're really competing with a former first-round pick who, looked okay in Philly. Has up to he looked okay. He looked okay. I'm not saying that he looked great.
Well, they didn't pick up his 5th-year option.
Well, Philly didn't want to probably pay the extra on that. Anyway, then you have a 3rd-round pick who you think higher on, and then they could trade Shedeur. They could cut Shedeur. They could trade this is all on him now. And I think that's enough time spending enough on Shedeur